Ah, I should have known it would be you. Word reached me of a struggle with a small but well-armed band of trespassers. Forgive my comrades their hostility. Few come here uninvited, and fewer still with good intent. Now, tell me why you are here. So, you seek to stem the Dravanian tide with talk? A romantic notion. If you but knew the truth, the spark which lit the flames of this animosity, you would understand the futility of your quest. Shall I relate it to you? The sordid history my gift has shown me, that which the Holy See has taken such pains to suppress. 'Twas more than a millennium past when an Elizan tribe first sought to claim the lands of Kurthas as its home. Unfortunately for them, Kurthas was already home to dragonkind, and they were not inclined to make way for the invaders. Thus did a bloody war begin, a war which might well have rumbled on until one or the other side was exterminated, had it not been for the resolve of a single woman. That woman's name was Shiva. While those around her fought and died, she attempted to parley with the dragons, and in so doing discovered them to be possessed of profound intelligence and reason. The great worm, Heavensward, in particular so enchanted Shiva that she found herself growing to love the creature, whom her people considered a monster. In the eyes of a near-immortal dragon, however, the fleeting life of an Elizan is as that of a freshly cut rose. Scarce has the flower bloomed before it begins to fade and wither. Such melancholy musings plagued Heavensward, who had found in Shiva an unexpected and beloved soulmate. He knew that all too soon, death would snatch her away from him. Unable to bear the thought of their separation, the maid bid the worm consume her, that their spirits might be entwined for eternity. Though loath to perform the deed, Heavensward ultimately gave in to her plea. And soon thereafter, the tale of their ill-fated love spread throughout the two warring factions. No more could they raise blade or claw against one another, knowing that the souls of their kin were so inextricably bound. In the days that followed, man and dragon learned to live in harmony, and together built a nation unlike any the world had ever known. For 200 years did this blissful age of peace continue, as it would to this day, had vilest envy not stirred in the hearts of the Elezen. It is said that worms owe their longevity to the boundless reserves of vitality found within their eyes. And 'twas in this belief that a traitorous band of knights deceived their allies of some 2 centuries, and took by force that which they coveted. Nidhogg, he who now stands poised to unleash his wormlings upon Ishgard, was the great dragon who lost an eye to Elezen treachery. And until he prizes it from the hands of the traitor's progeny, no amount of conciliatory words will stay his fury.
You are wrong, Lady Iceheart. Lest you misunderstand, I do not doubt your vision of the past. 'Tis true that Nidhogg greatly desired to reclaim the Eye. Indeed, it was for that very reason that I kept it with me as I roamed the land, attempting to draw him away from the city.
Good gods!
Until recently, Nidhogg seemed unable to resist its allure and pursued me relentlessly. Needless to say, that is no longer the case. Now, it would seem, he has fixed his attention on Ishgard itself, though he knows full well the Eye does not reside there.
You believe he targets the capital for another reason?
I believe reason has all but left him. Through the Eye, I feel much of what Nidhogg feels, and the dragon's thirst for vengeance will not be quenched by aught less than a sea of blood.
If Nidhogg is indeed lost to reason, might we not seek an audience with Hraesvelgr instead? He has thus far shown no inclination to aid in the invasion of Ishgard, and may yet welcome our efforts to broker a peace.
You still believe that a peaceable solution can be found? Very well. I will take you to him. Our road will lead us to Dravania, the homeland of dragonkind. There we shall ascend unto the clouds, where Hraesvelgr resides.
Is aught amiss, my friend? I sense the many battles are beginning to take their toll. Rest a while, and should you lose sight of us, Dravania lies beyond the mountains to the west.
Curious. The vestiges of thy mistress's blessing are not as faint as once they were. Thy will to succeed grants thee unusual fortitude. But will it be enough?
Beyond Abalathia's spine, the great mountain range that spans the continent of Aldenard from east to west. Into the deepening shadows of Som-Al, where lies the ancient home of dragonkind. To a land where the soil slithers and the skies seethe with sinuous shapes, they came.
Vidofnir!
Ah, 'tis thee, little one. From above I did mistake thee for a Nath. 'Tis well I chanced to look again, or thou wouldst now be ash.
Dear Vidofnir, how I have missed you. Would that I had come sooner, and not out of dire necessity.
Thou art troubled. Speak that I might know thy plight. Thou wouldst have father admonish his brood brother.
I would end this war without further bloodshed.
How am I to believe thee, little one, when thine own companion beareth Nidhogg's stolen eye?
Have care, dragon, or I shall gouge out one of yours.
You forget yourself, sir. We are here on a mission of peace.
My sires will forbiddeth me from inviting discord to our home. 'Tis for this reason and no other that thou still drawest breath, knight.
Vidofnir, please. We must be allowed to convey our intentions to Hraesvelgar in person, with words of our own choosing. Grant us this favor, and open the way to Som Al.
Thou hast ever been welcome, little one. But I cannot grant thy wish. I am bound to remain here and protect my kin from the Nath's god.
The Nath have summoned a primal.
Pray excuse my forwardness, but if we were to eliminate the threat to your territory, would you consent to Lady Izel's request?
Ha! Dost thou imagine thyself equal to the task? To succeed where dragons have failed? 'Tis beyond thee, mortal. But thou art welcome to try, nonetheless. Only know that idle promises shall avail thee naught.
It would seem we have no choice but to make good on Alphino's offer. Why must our every bid for peace breed yet more war? Now we have but to wait.
O Lord Ravana, Master of the Sacred Blades, Wrath of the Colony, Conqueror of the world, hear our prayer. Pray grant unto your devoted children the gift of your divine presence.
He comes.
All strength to the colony. Speak and I shall listen.
Oh, glorious General, we have captured intruders and would make unto you an offering of their life's blood.
These feeble fleshlings dared to invade Natlands.
Hear me, Lord Ravana. My companion and I did not come to contest your children's territory. We wished only to learn the reason you wage war against the dragons.
Thou wouldst flirt with death merely to satisfy thy curiosity. Wherefore should the glorious conquests of the Nath concern thee so, Elezen? Mayhap thine own kind struggle against the worms fareth poorly, and thou art desirous of a pact.
We crave no alliance, Lord Ravana. Only peace. We would bring an end to our war with the dragons. Yet so long as they remain embroiled in this conflict with your children, our goal shall remain out of reach. Never before have the Nath risen up in such numbers, and never yet with you at their head. Why do you lead them to war?
Thy question hath no meaning. To live is but to fight. Long have my children waited, gathering their strength in the shadow of thy ceaseless conflict. The Nath would see the Dravanians slain, and their territories secured. And by such fervent prayers am I now given form and purpose.
As I feared, your very existence is an obstacle to our goal. Since you are so fond of fighting, we challenge you, Lord of the Nath. And should we emerge the victors, I would have you swear to withdraw your soldiers from Dravanian soil.
Thou art bold indeed to risk thy fleshy hide so readily. Very well. I, Ravana, fourfold master of the blade, do accept thy challenge. But should I emerge the victor, I would have thee swear to serve in mine army till thy last breath is spent. Do you accept?
I do. And I believe the first bout is mine.
What is this? A god clad in flesh?
Is aught amiss, my lord? Thou wilt not break thy word, I trust.
Mine oath is unbending as steel, little goddess. Thy ruse will but add to mine enjoyment.
myself stronger. Mayhap with more crystals?
Be thou god or maid, thou art nothing to me. And what of thee, mortal? Art thou warrior or craven? A warrior, then? Good! Mayhap thou will provide more sport than thy feeble companion. Thus does the sacred rite of combat proclaim the victor. I lay my blades at thy feet, child of man.
You do not disappoint, warrior of light. Would that I had your skill in battle. I do begin to see why so many place their faith in you. For all his savagery, I do not think Ravana one to break his word. Provided the dragons do not trespass upon Nath lands, they should have little to fear of the Primal's biting blades. We have done well, have we not? Come, let us return to Vidofnir and share these glad tidings.
Once more you achieve the impossible, bringer of light. But with every mortal heart that succumbs to fear and fury, another voice is joined to the chorus, beseeching divine succor. At their bidding, warring gods will shake the firmament, and your world will be consumed in the swelling storm of chaos.
To the peak of Som Ar, at the end of a perilous mountain path, whence could be seen a string of pearl-like islands floating impossibly atop a sea of clouds. To a domain where dragons and men had once lived in harmony, whose majesty no mortal eye had glimpsed for nigh on 1,000 years, they came.
By the 12. Mine ears hear the tongue of dragons, yet the meaning runs clear within my mind. How can that be?
Racevelga, do you not remember me? 'Twas I whom you found in Dravania. I who glimpsed the truth. The truth about your past. About Shiva. But speak it I must. I have summoned Shiva's soul from the beyond and offered myself as her vessel. She has made her heart known to me. I have surrendered mine to her. Do you not see, my love? I am Shiva reborn! Then the spirit that answered me.
Be that as it may, Lord Racevelga, Izel's desire to heal the rift between man and dragon is real, and it has borne us this far. We would spare both our kind and yours the ravages of this senseless war. Pray join your voice to ours in a call for peace and forgiveness.
Sei if in Is lufta sit fra antu in. Kish an ish elna. Sit moni ratatoska nis eg ed. For always in dar. Kal Eikmon thorn en Yuin. Ale fei in leita. Borkin ushkin in. San es shisnishka. Stadrana moi. Snodoankin ulteda maas mornish.
Your tale bears scant resemblance to the one I was taught. How convenient that it should absolve your kind of all responsibility. But tell me, dragon, why should I believe your version of events?
Mixai eski listain. Non miki shisikin. Kua ala ain el. Sai an usi an thornizeg. Non wo I alamon a. Skor esk mik I es. Nes so I an in. Do in an. Olodram.
Ishgard's so-called heretics.
Sale, born I nesh iratatoska kin fo elna. Sith is nesh dokin an.
Then, the seed lies within us.
Is los esh idran. Oloson inizeg. Non nish I esk diedran en. Wa ulwa skola es alakin el andranken. Mondo.
Ye gods! I have borne witness to such a transformation. Looked on as a heretic assumed the shape of a dragon. I imagined it some manner of Dravanian enchantment. But if any Ishgardian, regardless of allegiance, has such potential within them, 12 forgive us. To think of all the dragons we've slain!
War ulmon ala an as drao. Kawol smain kol su thrahal sesknoni se an in kinizek.
Oft have I wondered why Nidhogg did not simply raze Ishgard to the ground. Now I have my answer. He has no intention of winning the Dragonsong War, for it is no war at all, but vengeance, an eternal requiem sung for his murdered sister.
In ice in drao, ale inia in.
I have not come this far only to admit defeat. We can still return the eye to Nidhogg and beg forgiveness for our ancestors' crimes. Mayhap our words will sway him.
Ja an, lis as an in la tu ole in an hes isu. Mik du set in sori, nosta no
Well, what do you propose we do now? I, for one, am intent on continuing to the east.
What is there to be found in the east?
Nidhogg's lair, the Eyrie, is said to lie in that direction. And the eye tells me he is near.
You cannot still mean to slay him.
You cannot still mean to stop me. I have been true to my word, and aided you in this fool's errand with Hraesvelgr. But your efforts at parley have come to naught, Lady Iceheart. I would see Ishgard saved, and for that, Nidhogg must die.
With the tale of our ancestors' vile betrayal yet ringing in your ears, you speak of continuing this war?
Nay, lady. I would but pierce its vengeful heart. When Nidhogg dies, this war shall die with him.
A moment, Estinian. You yourself spoke of the Great Worm's strength, that you believed him powerful enough to raise your city to the ground. How then are we few to challenge him? Even behind the stout walls of Ishgard, with an army of knights manning the defenses, our victory would be hard won. Yet you propose to contend with the beast in his own lair.
In close combat, this will afford us an advantage. And with two Azure Dragoons working in unison, who can say what might be possible? But such speculation is meaningless if we cannot even find the worm. Our first task must be to seek out Nidhogg's lair.
The story of this nation grows bloodier by the moment. Must death always be answered with more of the same?
Such is the way of things, I fear. I shall consider it a miracle if mine armor is not stained crimson ere this conflict is ended.
That I should be blinded by my own lies. Everything I believed, everything I thought I was, gone. All gone.
Leave her. Your words will not reach her now. And we have not the time to wait for her to gather up the pieces of her shattered faith.
Is that it?
Aye, that would be the Eyrie. I feel Nidhogg's presence through the eye, his caustic hatred gnawing at my soul. 'Twould seem the death of his consort has put him on guard. Mark how he wards his lair with tempestuous winds.
A similar barrier once barred our entrance to the Primal Garuda's domain, until we discovered the means by which it could be penetrated. Mayhap it is time we called upon Master Garland. 'Twill be just like the good old days, no?
Feast your eyes upon our latest and greatest feat of engineering. We call it a mana cutter.
After you put down Gaius, Wedge and me struck out on our own for a bit, and started work on the successor to the tiny Bronco.
Impressive little thing, isn't she? My talent for ship design has plainly rubbed off on them. They've adapted the principles of corrupted crystal technology and constructed a mechanism which converts ether from its surroundings into elemental wind. Said wind is then harnessed by the specially engineered sails, providing the craft with propulsion and lift. All in all, a most elegant solution. I'm actually a little upset that I didn't think of it myself.
The design does, however, come with one small flaw.
The energy conversion ratio's bloody awful. To generate enough power to get you off the ground, you need to be in an area awash with predominantly wind-aspected ether.
In other words, there are a few places you can fly, lots of places you can't.
The new Ishgardian airship hasn't left the boys much time for tinkering, meaning it may be a while before this particular project takes off, if you'll forgive the pun.
Tataru, what's happened?
I've been looking all over for you. There's been word from Aldar. It's about Her Grace, the Sultana.
It seems you're required elsewhere. Leave the mana cutter with us. We'll see that she's airworthy and suitably equipped to slice through those winds. You, meanwhile, should concentrate on providing Raoban and the Sultana whatever help they need.
Thank you for coming.
No thanks are necessary, General. I trust your recuperation continues apace.
I cannot complain. Thanks to Higiri and her ministrations, I've regained much of the strength I lost during my imprisonment.
I gather you have made progress in the search for Her Grace.
Aye, some good fortune at last. A few days past, Dulala informed us that a sizable shipment of alchemical supplies had been delivered to the palace.
With Papa Shan's assistance, I set out to ascertain the source and nature of the shipment. My inquiries led me to Frondale's frontistery. There, I learned that an order had been placed for a curious substance designed to sustain patients trapped in death-like slumber. An invention of the former head alchemist, apparently.
A death-like slumber? This cannot be a coincidence.
It lends some weight to Dulala's claims, aye. Her Grace is likely somewhere within the palace, abed but alive.
Before making any attempt to extricate the Sultana, however, it seemed prudent to learn what manner of substance was used to induce her torpor. To that end, I made inquiries as to the whereabouts of the one most like to have administered it. The lady-in-waiting, Meriel. We sent for you as soon as we learned of her location. All that remains is to apprehend the woman.
We shall find our cat's paw in the Silver Bazaar. But we must tread carefully. The market is not the bustling place it once was, and someone is sure to mark our coming. Should they inform the monetarists, we'll have a fight on our hands. We must be prepared for the worst, and being short an arm, I thought it wise to take another in its stead.
What say you, warrior of light? Will you lend me yours? Then I pity the bastard that stands in our way. Come, my friends, for Nanamo and for Ul'dah!
You are Meriel, the Sultana's former lady-in-waiting?
I know no one of that name. Pray excuse me. General Alden!
We will have the truth from you, girl.
Mayhap 'twould be better coming from me.
Lolorito, you'd best talk fast.
As you know, Teleji Adeleji's Cartano reclamation bill was no more than a facade. A means to get his grubby little hands on that Allagan monstrosity Omega. When he learned of Nanamo's intention to abdicate, however, he was forced to amend his plans. Suddenly, assassination seemed the most promising way to further his ambitions. I am told Teleji had discovered a maid in whose veins ran the blood of House Thorn, a new, more pliable puppet to sit the throne. 'Twould have caused an uproar, of course, but few could have contested her claim. "'Twas plain that Teleji's wild machinations had outgrown our ability to control them. So I decided to usurp his scheme and left the fool to seal his own demise.
And what of Nanamo?
Oh, I have no desire to harm her grace. 'Twould profit me little to destabilize our government. Thus did I employ young Meriel here to administer a potent sleeping potion in place of a poison. You should know, General, that your dear friend Ilberd was fully aware of my plan. I had him lie about the assassination as a means to prime your rage against Teleji. We weren't entirely sure how you would react, but things went rather better than expected.
You conniving little worm! You had your claws in the Crystal Braves before their first recruit had sworn to serve!
But of course, when a new game begins, 'tis only prudent to have a piece on the board. Ilberd was mine. Truth be told, a significant proportion of the Braves' initial endowment was also mine. With such large sums moving about, 'twas a rather trifling matter to disguise my own contribution. Ah, Ilberd.
I secured his services with a promise to support his cause once my authority had been solidified. I swear, the man thinks of naught but prizing Alamigo from the grasp of the Empire. Unlike you, General, the poor fellow seems quite unable to forsake the land of his forefathers. Mayhap that's why he called you a traitor to your people and a disgrace to your homeland, amongst other things. What was it he always compared you to? Oh, yes, an overgrown lapdog begging for scraps at the Sultana's table. Oh, how we laughed. Alas, Ilbird's entertaining little outbursts eventually gave way to wearisome tirades, and the zealous brute became rather unruly. I had no wish to see you executed, you understand, but he would not take no for an answer. Rest assured, his employment with me has long since ended. Which brings us neatly to the present. What say you, General? Both you and the Sultana are alive. We have one corpse and one fugitive, and preparations have been made to restore your good name. Shall we cry quits and start again with a blank ledger?
The hells we will! Do you honestly expect me to forgive and forget? After all you've done? You're guilty of high treason!
Stay your blade, Master Alden. You yourself are not innocent. Or have you forgotten your own crime in executing Teleji Adeleji without trial? Though you acted out of loyalty to the Sultana, such deeds are in violation of both the word and spirit of the law. If you would, Lord Lolorito?
This potion will wake the Sultana from her slumber. Consider it a gesture of conciliation. You will find Her Grace resting comfortably within her private chambers. Should you doubt my word, I shall willingly accompany you to the palace as your hostage.
I like not your motives, Lolorito. But you saved the Sultana's life, and for that, you have my gratitude.
Rauban Aldin, you are hereby reinstated as General of the Immortal Flames. The citizens of Ul'dah shall once more be united under Nanamo Ul'Namo, and together we shall usher in a new age of prosperity.
I was having the longest dream.
"'Tis time to wake up, Your Grace. Another day begins in Thanalan, and the sun blazes bright upon the sands. Her Grace is awoken. The palace physician assures me she is none the worse for her slumber. I believe Her Grace will soon resume her plans to place the government of Uldar into the hands of its citizens. Whatever path she chooses to take, I shall walk it with her. And we shall tread slowly, lest the nation be unsettled in our wake.
Her Grace's compassion is a shining beacon to us all. But what our city truly thrives upon is competition. 'Tis in the struggle against our rivals that opportunities are seized and fortunes made. And with the Empire on the offensive once more, now would hardly seem the time to turn our system of government upon its head.
Are you privy to new intelligence, my lord?
I would hardly call it new. Remind me, what was the name of that enormous Imperial warship which met its end in Mordona? Oh, wait, I have it. The Agrius. Yes, well, 'twould appear that the Garleans have been hard at work on another such vessel.
How close are they to completing this ship? Is it operational?
Its maiden flight was a success, I hear. I should imagine Emperor Varys is eager to see how it performs in battle. My lords and ladies, I move that it is time to repair the damage caused by Teleji Adeleji and prepare our great nation to repel the Empire once more.
"'Tis well that the Sultana has awoken. The Syndicate yet needs to put its house in order, but 'twould seem the worst of the confusion has passed. Uldar has taken control of its future, and I must do the same. I have decided to disband the Crystal Braves. Among the recruits, there were those who supported our Order's goals and convictions with all sincerity. 'Tis my hope that these loyal men and women will choose to remain our allies in the battles to come. As for those who sided with the traitor, Ilberd, they shall be hunted down and held to account for their crimes. It is my earnest hope that they will surrender themselves peaceably when the time comes, though I think it unlikely. Ah, my all-conquering Crystal Braves. The model army meant to pave the way for a single unified grand company of Eorzea. That so high an ideal should be brought so low. I need not tell you how deeply the betrayal stung me. Yet I see now that it was mine own naivety and pride which allowed the Braves to fall prey to corruption. As ever, it is to your own shining example that I turn for inspiration. Like you, I mean to stand firm in the face of hardship, and give mine all for the cause. Let us resume the search for our missing comrades, that we might come together to shine the light of dawn across the realm once more. The role of Crystal Brave Commander suited me ill, and I shall play it no longer. Henceforth, I shall be no more or less than Alphino, proud member of the Scions.